His name was Daniel Cole. He left for work on a Tuesday morning, kissed his wife, waved to his daughter, scratched the dog behind the ears before walking out the front door. Nothing unusual, nothing strange, just another normal morning. And then he came home that night. But something had changed. His wife felt it immediately. She couldn't explain it. Not at first. His daughter refused to hug him. And the dog wouldn't stop barking. Not at the door, not at the windows, at him. The Cole family lived in Hargrove, Ohio, a small town surrounded by woods and empty highway. The kind of place where people still leave porch lights on for each other, where neighbors know the sound of your car before you pull into the driveway. Nothing bad ever really happened there, at least nothing people talked about. Daniel Cole was 38, a structural engineer, quiet, organized, predictable, the type of man who folded grocery receipts before throwing them away, who locked the front door twice before bed, who said the exact same things every morning before leaving for work, back by 7, and he always was. Sarah used to joke that Daniel could survive anything because nothing ever surprised him, not traffic, not stress, not people. But Mia loved him for different reasons. She loved that he made pancakes shaped like animals on Sundays, that he checked under her bed every night before she slept, that he always carried peppermints in his coat pocket for her. She called him Daddy Bear. Nobody remembered when it started, only that the name stayed. That Tuesday started like every other Tuesday. Danny left home at 7:12 a.m. Site survey 2 hours north. Routine job, routine drive, routine day. He called Sarah around noon. Normal conversation. Asked what Mia wanted for dinner. Complained about highway construction. Said he would probably be home late. Nothing unusual, nothing strange. But later, Sarah would replay that phone call in her head 1,000 times, trying to remember if his voice sounded different, trying to catch something she missed. A hesitation, a pause, anything. Daniel arrived home at exactly 7:14 p.m. Sarah remembered the time because Mia had just complained that her peas were touching the mashed potatoes. The front door opened. Daniel stepped inside, closed the door behind him, took off his shoes, placed his keys in the ball near the stairs, exactly where he always placed them. Everything looked normal, except he didn't say anything. No, I am home, no tired, no kiss on Sarah's cheek. He just walked to the dinner table and sat down, still wearing his coat. Sarah asked if he was okay. Daniel looked at her for a second too long before answering. Long drive. That was it. 3 words, flat, empty, like someone repeating a line they would practiced. Sarah told herself he was exhausted. People have strange days, strange moods. But Mia slowly pushed her chair away from the table, walked around to Sarah's side, grabbed her sleeves tightly, and whispered 4 words. That's not Daddy Bear. Sarah laughed nervously after Mia said it, told her not to be rude, told herself children imagine things all the time. But later that night, she found Mia awake in bed, not crying, not scared, just awake, sitting upright beneath the blankets, staring at the bedroom door. Sarah asked what was wrong. Mia answered without looking away from the hallway. Daddy stood here for a long time. Sarah checked the hallway, empty. She told herself Mia probably had a nightmare, but when she looked back toward the bed, Mia was still staring at the doorway, like she expected him to come back. The next morning, Daniel behaved almost normally. Almost. He drank coffee without sugar. Daniel always used 2 packets. He forgot the dog's name twice, and when Sarah kissed him goodbye before work, he hesitated. Like he'd seen the gesture before, but wasn't sure how to respond to it. By the second night, the house no longer felt safe. Sarah couldn't explain why. Nothing violent had happened. No threats, no shouting. Just the feeling that something inside the house was pretending very hard to be normal. At 3 a.m., she walked to the sound of movement downstairs. Soft footsteps, slow, measured. The space beside her in bed was empty. Sarah walked downstairs carefully. Every light in the house was off except the kitchen. Daniel was standing near the sink, perfectly still, facing the wall. Not moving, not blinking. Sarah whispered his name. No response. Then slowly, without turning his body first, his head tilted toward her, and he smiled. It looked correct. That was the worst part. The shape of it, the timing, the muscles, everything looked human. But nothing inside it felt real. Sarah felt cold all over. The kind of cold that starts in your stomach. The kind your body feels before your mind understands why. The next morning, she called Daniel's sister. Emily arrived around noon. Sarah didn't explain much. She didn't know how to. Emily sat with Daniel alone in the living room for almost an hour. No raised voices, no argument, just conversation. But when Emily left, she walked quickly to her car without saying goodbye. Then Sarah's phone vibrated. A text message. Do not stay alone with him. That night, Sarah started documenting things, small things at first. The way Daniel ate, mechanical, precise, like he was copying behavior instead of experiencing it. The way he showered, exactly 11 minutes every single time. The way he slept or didn't. Sarah stayed awake until almost 4 in the morning watching him. Daniel never moved once. No shifting, no twitching, no dreaming. Just stillness, like something imitating sleep. On the third night, while Daniel showered, Sarah checked his phone. His call history showed the noon call from Tuesday. Normal, expected. But beneath it, there was another call. Placed at 6:58 p.m., 16 minutes before Daniel arrived home. Unknown number, no contact name, no location. Sarah stared at it for a long time before pressing call. The phone rang once. Then someone answered. And Sarah heard Daniel's voice. Not distorted, not broken, normal. calm. Hello? But Daniel was still in the shower upstairs. Sarah packed a bag the next afternoon. Only essentials, clothes for Mia, medicine, chargers, the things people grab when they don't want to admit they are running away. Daniel watched her from the kitchen while she packed, not angry, not confused, just watching. Like he already knew what she was going to do. Sarah told Mia they were spending a few days at Grandma's house. Mia nodded too quickly, like she'd been waiting to hear it. Before leaving, Sarah looked at Daniel one last time, hoping, praying that something similar would still be there. Something human. But Daniel only tilted his head slightly and said, "Okay, Sarah." Not "be careful," not "I will miss you," not even "I love you." Just her name. Flat, careful, like he had learned it recently. Sarah drove for almost 20 minutes before she finally called Daniel's co-worker, a man named Trevor Mills. Her hand shook so badly she nearly dropped the phone twice. Trevor answered on the third ring, half asleep, confused. Sarah asked if Daniel had seemed strange during the site survey. Silence. Then Trevor said something that made her pull the car onto the side of the road. Sarah, Daniel never arrived. He waited all day for him. Sarah couldn't breathe. The world around her suddenly felt distant, muted, wrong. Because if Daniel never made it to the survey, then who came home that night? Police found Daniel's real car the next morning, 12 miles outside Hargrove, pulled down to the shoulder of Route 9, engine still running, driver's door slightly open. His phone sat untouched on the passenger seat, coffee still warm inside the cup holder. No blood, no damage, no footprints leading away from the road. Just gone. The man living in Sarah's house was brought in for questioning, and somehow he knew everything. Anniversary dates, childhood stories, the name of Mia's first grade teacher. Every detail perfect. Almost too perfect. One detective later said it felt less like interviewing a husband, more like interviewing someone who had studied one. Then came the final question. What does your daughter call you? For the first time, the man hesitated. Just slightly. His eyes shifted toward the floor, like he was searching for the answer. Then he smiled and said, "She calls me Dad. Not Daddy Bear. Just Dad." Daniel Cole was never found. No body, no witnesses, no evidence he ever left Route 9 alive. The official investigation remained open for 11 months, then quietly disappeared. Sarah never moved out of the house. Some people said it was Daniel. Others said she was too afraid to leave Mia alone with him. Because the man who came home that Tuesday night never left. He still lives there today. He pays the bills on time, waves to neighbors, drives Mia to school every morning. And every night before bed, he still checks beneath her bed for monsters. Exactly the way Daniel used to. But Mia is older now, and according to Sarah, she no longer calls him Daddy Bear. She doesn't call him anything at all. Some things came back from the dark. Not everything that returns belongs here.